having spent a few moments in stillness before you come into your pranayama practice, begin to become aware of the shape of the torso in terms of it being a container for your breath. So just in your mind's eye, with the eyes closed, picture the whole torso from the floor of the pelvis up to the collarbones being this container for breath that you're filling and emptying, and the place that the breath comes into and leaves the body is the throat. Just have that in your mind's eye. And start to really be observant of the feeling in the throat, the feeling of breath moving in and out through the throat. What does the inhale feel like? What does the exhale feel like? Keep the throat very, very soft, particularly the place just above the very center of the collarbones, at the very base of the throat. Have that be very, very soft. And then bring your attention, keeping the throat soft, to the rest of the container for your breath that starts at the floor of the pelvis. And then it goes up the abdomen, the four sides of the abdomen, the low back, the sides of the waist, the front of the abdomen, and then the sides of the rib cage, the front of the rib cage, the whole upper back. Observe this filling and emptying with each inhale and exhale. Now, it's important for this, you're not doing anything to control your breath. You're just watching it in a particular way. Now, keeping the throat very soft, forget about what breath really is, the gases that come into and leave the body and that we exchange, and instead, imagine that it's a substance that you're pouring in to your torso from the throat. So, in other words, you're filling this container as you inhale from the bottom to the top. As if you were pouring liquid into a bucket, it would fill from the bottom to the top. So just have that in your mind's eye, that you're inhaling through the throat, but the activity, the result, starts at the base of the torso. So you're filling from the pelvis up to the collarbones. And so far, notice we've just really focused on the inhale. Just let your exhales happen for today. We're just watching how the inhales fill. Now, continuing to keep the throat very, very soft and seeing the inhales fill the body from the bottom to the top, I want you just to be aware of several landmarks in the body. And that when you inhale, they each respond in a certain order. So in other words, when you begin your inhale, first we'll feel the navel lift a little bit or move a little bit, and then the bottom rib, and then the bottom of the breastbone, and then the top of the breastbone. So continuing to breathe, we'll get a few cycles focusing on this. Just observe that the navel moves first, and then the bottom rib, and the bottom of the breastbone, and the top of the breastbone. And I want you to see how much of an inhale you can take without bringing any hardness at all to your throat. Now, you may not actually feel these landmarks moving, and that's totally fine. You're just sort of in your mind's eye, you're assigning an order to where you're sending the breath on your inhale. So it starts floor of the pelvis, then navel, then bottom rib, then bottom of breastbone, then top of breastbone. And you're exploring how much you can fill without the throat knowing, basically. So I try to keep the throat absolutely passive, as if it's completely unaware that there's activity happening down in the torso. And for today, that is the practice, to explore this inner space in this way, that you're watching the breath climb up the torso and seeing how far it can climb without disturbing the throat. And when you've explored to your heart's content, take a few moments in quiet before getting up and going about your day.